I am the true alpha male, the living legend of hair loss, and I am so in story mode. Let me reach into my pocket, pull out a sticky note, and see what it says. Let me find a good one on here. How about this one? You're asking the wrong questions. Yeah, see, I had a failed series here called Self-Help Hacker, which I focused on what would actually help boys become men by changing their thinking. But because I didn't put hair loss in the title, or receding hairline, or Norwood 3, no one supported that. I made 73 episodes before I finally gave up and said, you know what, fine, I'll go back to the silly hair loss videos. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking those notes of those abandoned titles and just repurposing them for this series about hair loss. So yeah, you're asking the wrong questions. Imagine that one. Have you ever watched one of those movies where it's almost like it's some kind of like martial arts movie or whatever it is, and they go to the master, the sensei, and you're asking the wrong questions. And that's ultimately how I feel as a 39-year-old man. I field dozens of comments a day from boys who ask the wrong questions about hair loss. And of course, what's the main wrong question? The main wrong question is, Nick, how do I prevent hair loss? And you know, as a 39-year-old, how I translate that. And that is, Nick, how do I prevent becoming a man? Because for a lot of men, part of that rite of passage is that they're going to stop looking like a boy and look explicitly like a man. I'm going to say something that sounds random and off topic, but I promise you it's not. Now, the people probably worrying most about hair loss that watch my videos are probably the least likely to be the people who watch the songs that I perform. That I write songs and I perform, and sometimes I do covers. But something I've evolved into now is I am embracing falsetto more. So as far as singing in a normal voice, then doing that, falsetto. Well, I've done research. People actually, as far as what makes songs radio hits, people really resonate very well with hearing a man go from a low voice to a high voice and back. So ultimately, that's a lot of what I do in the songs. And ultimately, we can see dynamics here as it relates to your physical appearance. So here's what with that concept of having something that's masculine, a baritone voice or a tenor voice singing like a man, and then suddenly going falsetto, Maroon 5 or whatever you want to say, okay? The dynamics of that. The same thing. See, and it's not that way with females. When females sing falsetto, it doesn't become a hit. When a man does it, it does. I want you to look that up. Look in male singers falsetto. You'll see all the stuff about it. It's a real thing, and that's why I'm incorporating it in the songs I do in this channel. So let's take that concept to how we look. So I remember when I was in college, I think it was like psychological development, I remember there was this chapter talking about how when you compare a 6-year-old boy versus a girl, they pretty much have, other than obviously the main thing, they pretty much are going to look the same way. If you put the same t-shirt and shorts on a boy versus a girl at the same size, they have the same basic body and looks. It's not until puberty that starts to change and their body really takes on a more dynamic form. Similarly, that's what happens again when you become a man, not a boy. Now we're not about puberty, going in 12, 13, 14. We're talking about 18 and beyond. So consider it second puberty. And that's when, yes, temples will start receding, hairline might start receding, hairline might start thinning. You're going to become more of a man. Some of you will never go bald. Some of you definitely will. And some of you will be somewhere in between. But ultimately, it's like a second puberty. And so imagine if a boy was going through puberty and was freaking out about it and said, I don't want to grow a mustache. I don't want my voice to get deeper. I want to stay a boy forever. Imagine that. But I feel a lot of my viewers do that with the fact that they are gravitating towards more of a Norwood situation than not having one. And they want to stay a boy instead of embrace their new man look that's already part of their DNA. And they say, how do I prevent hair loss? And that's the wrong question. The right question is, how do I embrace hair loss? And fortunately, that is a very simple answer. It's a very simple question, a very simple answer. How do you embrace it? Well, it depends on how bad your hairline and thinning is. If you've got a Norwood 2.5 like mine, you can have 2.5 inches on top and pretty much it's okay. And just keep the sides thinner, and it's not like we're doing a comb over situation. It's just a matter of downplaying it. If it's much worse than that, guess what? You shave it off. And if you feel like growing a beard, you do it. And it's that simple. There's nothing else to know. The simple question. Nick, how do I embrace my masculinity? Answer, embrace going bald, shave your head if you need to. That's the right question, the right answer. The wrong question is, Nick, how do I prevent going bald? My answer to that is, watch somebody else's channel. Don't watch mine. Please, I beg you, go watch Hairliciously. He'll help you out. He'll tell you all about hair transplants. Do that. There's plenty of people out there that tell you all about popping some pills, and maybe that'll help you keep your hair. You know, I'm not going to answer that question for you because that's the wrong question. When I hear, how do I prevent hair loss? All I hear is a boy. I think of a boy, like entering puberty. His voice is getting a little bit, starting to change. He's starting to grow a mustache. His shoulders are starting to get broader. Nick, how do I stay a boy? I want to keep playing with Thomas the Tank Engine. I want to keep playing with Pokemon cards. How do I do that, Nick? To me, it's the same thing. And that's why I'm so disgusted by people asking me all these questions about hair loss and saying, why is it such a bad thing if there's no side effects? I don't care what you do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm going to help recruit anyone who wants to be a man, to be the dad that you don't have. If you had a dad that was part of your life, he'd be telling you this already. So I don't care if I'm not sensitive enough or empathetic enough or whatever the word is. That's somebody else's channel. I'm here to make a man out of you. I am your internet dad. Stop asking me the wrong question. Go to a different channel for that. Ask the right question, you'll get the right answer. And that is, embrace being a man. Comments right here.